What's up, everybody? It's Make It Make Sense, and we got a big, well, not big, we have a long show. So like the video's intro plays, we got a lot to get into. And as far as I know, I don't think anybody has actually reviewed this lawsuit yet. So we're all doing this together.
Make it make sense. That's all. 1 and 1 got to equal 2.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense to me intellectually.
Make it make sense. You know what was up.
Big moves. Surfer. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense.
Back if she ain't gonna do nothing with it.
Okay, were you planning to buy some drugs
Yes,
or
I
something?
was.
What kind of drugs were you wanting to buy?
Rock.
Yes,
I was.
You gave her $20 to
I
buy,
gave her $20. She gave me some plaster.
and now you want your $20 back
Yes, I do.
because she didn't supply you with crack cocaine.
Well, if she shouldn't give me nothing, no plaster, nothing.
Give me my money back up. No, you ain't bought nothing from here. Don't disrespect my child. This is my child. I don't sell crack. I'm a prostitute.
Hold on, guys. I'm just adding something really, really quickly. I work like right up to the minute. Okay. We're good. Okay, guys. So yeah, I had a hard time finding this one. So I'm not surprised that a lot of people have not like aired this, but I kind of glazed over it. Before we even get into it, let me first say, if you did not see that video yesterday, it went deeply personal. And to everybody who shared their stories in the chat about abuse that they went through at the hands of maybe a relative or a cousin or as a child, thank you guys for being so open. I'm absolutely sure there was even more. I was surprised at how many people came forward in the chat yesterday and talked about it. But it's way more prevalent than we think. And yesterday was the first day that I did not call my therapist after a live like that, because I'm not a therapist and I don't want to say anything harmful or anything that would not be to a person's benefit if they're choosing to share with me. So yesterday was the first day that I did not have to call my therapist. So I kind of feel like we're all in this together at this point. And I really do appreciate everybody who was so forthcoming with, their stories. But let's get into this. Okay. I was expecting it to be like extremely sparse, like the other Tony Busby Diddy lawsuits, but this one was not that at all. So just a quick trigger warning. We are doing the full lawsuit. So if, these type of accusations impact you adversely, this would be your chance to catch us on the next video. Plaintiff Jane Doe complains of defendant Shannon Sharpe and cause for action. Introduction. Now, she is still trying to be a Jane Doe, but like we know, Shannon has released her name. A woman can say yes to consensual sexual relations with a man 99 times, but when she says no, even once, that no means no. We kind of talked about that yesterday. Defendant Shannon Sharpe, a man who is accustomed to getting what he wants, completely fails to understand this basic concept. After many months of manipulating and controlling plaintiff, a woman more than 30 years younger than he, and repeatedly threatening to brutally choke and violently slap her, Sharpe refused to accept the answer no and R-worded plaintiff, despite her sobbing and repeated screams of no. Defendant Shannon Sharpe is a 56-year-old NFL superstar. He claims to be one of the most successful sports media personalities in the country. Plaintiff is a young woman in her early 20s. In 2023, Plaintiff was working out at a gym in Los Angeles, California, when Sharpe approached her for the first time. Previously, Doe had noticed Sharpe watching her during her workouts. At this time, Doe was just 19 years old. At the time, she did not know who he was, only that he was another older man ogling her at the gym. Doe could tell Sharpe was much older than her. She found him physically intimidating. Eventually, he introduced himself. At his determined instance, she gave him her number. I'm just going to be real, because I don't know how to be anything else but real. You see somebody who's as old as your dad. He's looking at you at the gym. He finally approaches you. You say he's physically intimidating, and yet you still gave him your number. Did he threaten you? I don't know. Before we get into this completely, 18 is the age of consent. Legally, dating somebody who is 34 years younger than you is legal. But it's like, what do you all talk about? Where do you guys have a meeting of the minds is my question. Over the next couple of weeks, Sharpe insistently pursued plaintiff. He constantly approached her at the gym and attempted to contact her frequently with phone calls and text messages asking to meet up, unwilling to take no for an answer. Eventually, plaintiff gave in and agreed to meet with Sharpe outside of the gym. However, before doing so, Sharpe demanded that Doe sign a non-disclosure agreement, something plaintiff found a bit concerning. She wondered why Sharpe was so insistent on her signing an NDA. She refused. Despite his repeated efforts to get her to sign, she refused time and again. Eventually, he dropped the issue and invited her to the house. What followed was the beginning of a rocky, consensual relationship that lasted nearly 2 years. The relationship was very unequal. Sharpe is more than 30 years older, is considerably wealthier, is physically much larger, and exponentially stronger. Sharpe is famous and has power. Plaintiff and Sharpe saw each other on his terms and on his schedule as often as 4 times a week. Over time, plaintiff began to see Sharpe's true nature. She found him to be dishonest about his whereabouts. He would lie about seeing other women while insisting to her that she and he were exclusive. He often manipulated her, at times being sweet and loving to get what he wanted, and other times being angry and aggressive to achieve his goals. She discovered over time that Sharpe was extremely emotional and possessed an uncontrollable temper. He displayed the characteristics of a true narcissist. He wielded his power, his influence, and his celebrity control plaintiff and get exactly what he wanted, whenever he wanted it, and all the while jealously guarding what he considered his for himself. By October 2024, Sharpe's behavior had grown progressively worse, beyond anything plaintiff had experienced with him before. At this point, he was insistent upon recording their sexual activities, sometimes without her knowledge. Sharpe was also sharing the videos with others, without her permission or knowledge. Sharpe would repeatedly tell Doe that he wanted to do things to her that would make other men want her. Now, that is a line that sounds like what Kanye does with Bianca and everybody that he dates. Who's the bald one with the face tattoo? Bald face tattoo and kind of annoying. What's her name? Everybody wanted Jocelyn to whip her ass. What's her name? What is her name? Amber Rose. Thank you, M. Williams. Amber Rose had said in an interview that Kanye was very upfront about wanting other men to want the women that he was with. We see that a lot. Tom Girardi and Erica Jane. Tom would send Erica Jane's, pictures to other attorneys and stuff like that as kind of like, this is what I got. So that seems to track with powerful people. Sharpe would repeatedly tell Doe that he wanted her to do things that would make other men want her. By this point, Sharpe was no longer able to credibly maintain that the relationship was exclusive. He had, at this point, accidentally or purposely to advance his career, went live on Instagram while having sex with another woman. Sharpe flew into fits of anger when plaintiff noticed his infidelity to their relationship or called him out about his extraneous activities. What had once been manipulation, control, and intimidation now became something far more dangerous and sinister. Sharpe even figured out how to get into Doe's apartment complex without her permission. Sharpe made it clear that what Doe wanted was of no moment. that Sharpe would get what he wanted when he wanted it. In October of 2024, Sharpe violently sexually assaulted an R-worded plaintiff from the back door 2 different times in Las Vegas, Nevada, blatantly ignoring her request for him to stop. He did it again in January. Plaintiff left Nevada to temporarily escape defendant Shannon Sharpe. She now seeks justice through this action and other means. Plaintiff seeks compensatory and punitive damages in this matter in excess of $50 million. Factual allegations. Defendant Shannon Sharpe. Defendant Shannon Sharpe is a former NFL superstar and well-known sports media personality. After a 14-season career in the NFL, he is considered by some to be one of the greatest tight ends of all time. He is a 3-time Super Bowl champion and was recently inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame. Upon retirement, Sharpe transitioned into sports broadcasting, quickly achieving success in the industry. Sharpe spent several years at CBS Sports before moving to Fox, where over a decade he built a reputation for his strong opinions and hot takes. In 2023, Sharpe joined ESPN, where he remains employed today. In addition to working at ESPN's First Take, Sharpe hosts his own widely followed podcast, interviewing high-profile athletes, entertainers, and public figures. Sharpe claims he made as much as $6 million from one episode of his podcast and is alleged to be signing a multi-million-dollar deal with the Volume Media Group. Now, this don't have nothing to do with nothing, y'all, but Shannon never told the public how much he made from that one interview with Cat Williams. She is the one that just told us that it was a $6 million interview. That's underhanded messy, and I will allow it. He never gave a figure. He just said in that one video he made more than any one season that he was in the NFL. That's a good little jab to throw in there. Now we all know how much he made. 89 million views get you $6 million. Okay. Michelle sounded older. Michelle sounded like, she was seasoned. Michelle is the woman who was in the audio that he released, allegedly that he released. Sharpe's legacy extends beyond the field and media, and in one glaring area, it is not good. Sharpe has a documented history of abusing and mistreating women. As an example, he is currently a defendant in a lawsuit before the Supreme Court of New York, facing claims from a woman of intentional infliction of emotional distress, among other allegations. Many of the factual allegations in the New York case are eerily similar to the actions toward plaintiff here. Now, y'all are just taking this trip with me. I had no idea that there was another court case. Let's see. Oh, we'll have to get into this one later. I had no idea. This one kind of slipped under the radar. Oh, wow. Okay. This definitely slipped under the radar, but I found the court case. Okay. See how things have changed. Remember, I used to have attorneys find court cases for me now? And now in a couple clicks. Sharpe's legacy, blah, blah, blah. We got that. As an example, he's currently defending a lawsuit in the Supreme Court of New York, facing claims from a woman of intentional infliction of emotional distress, among other allegations. According to the New York lawsuit, Sharpe forcibly subdued the plaintiff in that case, forcing her to her knees and subjecting her to non-consensual oral sex, despite her repeated protest. When she resisted, he persisted. He would not take no for an answer. According to the New York lawsuit, the plaintiff therein feared for her safety, just as plaintiff fears for her safety now. We'll get into that New York lawsuit. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. The New York lawsuit further alleges that Sharpe escalated to non-consensual vaginal penetration, all while telling her that he would make it so no other man would want her. These words were apparently not a one-time thing. Plaintiff herein too has heard Sharpe say those exact words to her. In September 2024, Sharpe live streamed himself on accident having sex with a woman. Upon information and belief, he did so on purpose to seek media exposure and to attract social media views and attention. To live stream himself, he would have had to deliberately swipe right on Instagram to activate the live feed. Sharpe claims it was accidental. However, discreetly recording sex without his partner's knowledge is something he is known to do. He did so with the plaintiff herein. Plaintiff discovered that Sharpe had been secretly recording their sexual encounters without her consent. When she confronted him, he summarily dismissed her concerns, claiming the videos were for his own personal use. That, too, was a lie. Upon information and belief, Sharpe, on multiple occasions, shared the recordings with his friends and associates. Okay. Adults are allowed to be as freak nasty as they want. Adults are allowed to record their sexual activities. But if you are secretly recording the person and then you are sharing it with random people that they don't know, this discovery is about to be insane. Jay, what? Yeah, she did secretly record him as well. When we're talking the Diddy case, the jury members are going to have to watch actual SEX tapes of Cassie and Diddy and all of these other people. The same is probably going to happen in this case. People are going to have to watch their secretly recorded sex tapes, and Shannon is not going to be able to delete them from his phone to save face or whatever. So we'll see. We'll see. And vice versa. She's not going to be able to delete stuff from her phone to get away with it either. If she secretly recorded him and also shared, you can't trust nobody. If you want to get butt naked and freak nasty, there is a little device that you can use that will pick up on secret recordings. Maybe if you have those proclivities, you might want to scan the room before really letting loose. Because now, you can't trust nobody. Let's continue. Let me see. Upon blah, blah, blah. At one point, he even forced plaintiff to have sex with him while FaceTiming one of his childhood friends named Bucket. The situation is not funny, but the fact that there's a grown-ass man who is going by the name Bucket is diabolical. I know Shannon is from the country. If you follow me on Instagram, I'm from the country too. I just talked about it on Instagram, but I don't know nobody named Bucket. Bucket. Okay. Whenever plaintiff would get up the courage to object to Sharpe's outrageous conduct, which was not often, he would aggressively and angrily put her back in her place. Shannon Sharpe isn't just a sports icon. He's something far worse. He is a flawed, narcissistic individual who has spent years using his fame, power, and influence to manipulate, control, subjugate, and violate women. With this suit, plaintiff intends to put an end to his egregious conduct. January 20, 2023, the beginning of a consensual but deeply manipulative relationship. Sharpe first met plaintiff at a Los Angeles gym in early 2023. Sharpe would deliberately watch Doe in such a way to make sure she knew he was watching her. One day, as plaintiff finished a set and turned around, she found Sharpe standing inches behind her. Sharpe told her he had noticed her at the gym and wondered why she had not introduced herself. So you got a 19-year-old girl. I guess the assumption is because I'm a celebrity, everybody's going to know who I am. So you see me, I see you. Why aren't you coming to me to introduce yourself to me? And maybe he was extra into her because it seemed like she was hard to get. She didn't want to sign an NDA. She was reticent to give her phone number. That's crazy. Sharpe told her he had noticed her at the gym and wondered why she had not introduced herself. This was the first time they spoke. Plaintiff at the time, who had just turned 20 years old, was caught off guard and was face-to-face with a 54-year-old man she had never met. Plaintiff did not know at the time who Shannon Sharpe was. She did not know what to say nor how to feel about his advances. During their conversation, Sharpe proposed a challenge, a competition to see who could lean out faster. The prize, if Plaintiff won, he would buy her fake tits. Jesus Christ. Okay. So I'm complimenting you, but at the same time saying your titties are not up to par. What? Where does this happen? Like, where are these conversations happening? Now, I will say this. If you have a Shannon Sharpe and, you know, he's an older looking man and you don't know him and he's kind of harassing you, did he flash his car keys? Did he start telling you I'm a former NFL player? I'm pretty sure we'll hear the rest of this when Shannon responds. The prize, if Plaintiff won, he would buy her fake tits. Plaintiff was stunned. The implication that she needed or wanted such a thing was wildly inappropriate. Hearing it from a stranger more than 30 years her senior made it even more disturbing. Throughout their subsequent encounters at the gym, Sharpe made sure Plaintiff understood who he was, a celebrity and a TV personality. Over the following week, Sharpe made himself unavoidable. He was at the gym when she was. He constantly called and texted demanding she come to his Beverly Glen mansion. Plaintiff repeatedly declined and made up excuses to make her seem too busy to see him, but he would not stop. Sharpe would not be deterred. I'm sorry, I didn't even see I had some super chats. Tremaine Rucker, thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate you. Hera says, thank you, Mims, for giving us a place to feel safe. Thank you for feeling safe with me. I didn't expect that live yesterday to go like that, but it did. And, you know, I appreciate the honesty because I'm sure somebody needed to hear it. Somebody's probably in the chat who experienced it and just doesn't feel comfortable talking about it. Yep, tell it, Mims. And Trent says, did he know she was a she?
That was not expected.
Why do I read your stuff without actually proofreading it? Did he know she was a she? I thought he said he was into younger men. I don't know what at this point. I don't know what Shannon is into. We don't technically know what she looks like. I'll get into that in a minute. Thank you for the super chat. Okay. Let me get back. Okay. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Eventually, Plaintiff gave in, but before she could meet him outside of the gym, Sharpe made another demand. She had to sign a non-disclosure agreement, an NDA. He refused to explain why and would not let her see a copy of the proposed agreement. He simply insisted she sign one. Plaintiff refused. After multiple attempts, when he realized she would not cooperate, he finally dropped the issue. C, revealed from the start the violent, aggressive, and controlling nature of Shannon Sharpe. The first night Plaintiff went to Sharpe's house, the experience was unlike anything she has dealt with before. Disturbing, unsettling, and given his subsequent conduct, very illuminating. When Plaintiff arrived at his house, Sharpe opened the door to his Beverly Hills mansion without a word. No greeting, no acknowledgement, no small talk. Without so much as looking at Plaintiff, he simply turned away from her after opening the door and walked upstairs. Plaintiff hesitated but followed as she did not know what else to do or where else to go. If the first time I go to anybody's house, they open the door and don't greet me or tell me to come inside, I'm probably not going to go inside. I hope that at 19, she was smart enough to maybe text her mom or a friend to say where she was going. When they reached the bedroom, Sharpe pointed to the bed before disappearing into the bathroom and shutting the door behind him. He still had not said a word. Plaintiff sat on the bed, waiting, unsure of what to expect or if she should leave. Roughly 5 minutes later, he finally emerged, but still he said nothing. Instead, he turned off all the lights and laid down on his bed. Plaintiff, uncomfortable and unsure of what to do, lay down as well. For roughly 10 minutes, there was nothing but silence. Then, without warning, Sharpe placed his hands on Plaintiff's neck from behind, pressed his erect penis against her body, and said his first words of the night. I knew from the first time I saw you that I was going to F you. Doe and Sharpe then engaged in oral sex. As they did so, Doe at some point realized Sharpe was using his phone. He was apparently recording her. Plaintiff could see that he was trying to be discreet, but it was obvious what he was doing. She said nothing, scared to confront him for what he might do or say. When it ended, he rolled over and went to sleep. At some point later during the night, Sharpe woke up, grabbed Plaintiff by her baby door, and began having sex with her. Not to get too graphic, but Shannon is a big proponent of that pill called Roe. Nobody even heard of this before Shannon's audio released, and he said he was on that pill, so that made him a perfect front man for the pill. So the way it's supposed to work is you take it, and then you're ready to go. Then you're ready to go again. So that kind of sounds like it tracks to me. The next morning, Sharpe woke up at roughly 4 a.m. to shoot a media segment for sports television. He woke Plaintiff as well and told her she needed to leave. Shit. But he informed her that she had to be back by 9 p.m. exactly. I am so confused. I mean, this is a 19-year-old, but this does not feel safe. This does not feel anything. It feels creepy, and yet you're going along with it. So at some point, after reading all these lawsuits, I feel like they're giving us the part of the story that automatically incriminates the other person, but you're not getting full context. You saw a man that, were you ever attracted to him? Let's start there. Or were you intrigued because he might have had money? And if that's the case, you could say so. That doesn't mean that just because you're intrigued by somebody having money doesn't mean that they don't abuse you. But this feels very one-sided. He intimidated you. You didn't want to give the number. You didn't want to sign the NDA. He didn't talk to you. He's recording you without your consent. This is in the first meeting. So I don't, you know what I mean? I don't know how not to be honest at this point, guys. I don't know. This sounds very one-sided. I needed to hear from her, well, I found him attractive, or, you know, maybe I liked his body or something to understand how a creepy old man gives you or continuously says derogatory things to you and you still go over to see him. Like, I hope that, you know, that kind of stuff comes out, because on its face, this is sounding, not that I don't believe her, but I just feel like some parts are being left out on purpose. The following night, plaintiff arrived at Sharpe's house at 9:05 p.m., just 5 minutes past the time he had demanded. The moment he opened the door, plaintiff experienced his rage for the first time. Sharpe immediately launched into a verbal assault. He screamed at plaintiff, berating her for what felt like hours. He accused her of disrespecting him, wasting his time, and warned that if she wanted to be with the Shannon Sharpe, she would have to learn obedience. Was there money involved here? Was there like an exchange of money? Plaintiff was terrified and feared for her physical safety. Still enraged, Sharpe turned off the lights, grabbed her neck, and just like the night before, began having sexual intercourse with her. This cycle of control, fear, and submission became routine. Yelling at her, controlling her, forcibly grabbing her by the neck when he got upset, saying he was going to unalive her, and asserting dominance became the norm. Over the next year and a half, plaintiff saw Sharpe at his house as often as 4 times a week. Sharpe continued to treat her like an object. He continued to control her, not just physically, but emotionally and psychologically. He demanded complete control over her time and body, expecting her to be at his house on his schedule at his command whenever he called. The verbal abuse never stopped. He would berate and degrade plaintiff, just as he had from the beginning. One time specifically, he was yelling at her while there was a firearm visible in the room. Terrified for her safety, plaintiff tried sharing her location with her friends from her iPhone, just in case. But Sharpe saw her doing this. The moment he realized what she was doing, he grabbed her by her neck and told her, "If you ever do that again, I will effing kill you." So you're 19. I mean, at 19, I guess you do dumb stuff. I get it. I just feel like maybe there was more. And if it was a case of, well, he's a celebrity and maybe a celebrity's never hit on me before and I'm young and I'm 19 and I'm intrigued and I'm interested, okay. I just feel like all of this has to be a cautionary tale, especially for the kids coming up under us. You can't just be blinded by celebrity. I don't think, based on this, that she was into the D. I don't think she was into the way he looked. I think she was intrigued by the lifestyle. And at 19, you F up. But all of the, like, were there ever texts between your parents to say, "I feel unsafe"? You eventually moved to Las Vegas with him. So I don't know. Okay. Sharpe's aggression and rage continued to escalate to the point that plaintiff's friends began to fear for her safety. For example, when plaintiff was with her friends, they could hear Sharpe yelling at her over the phone and would ask her if she was safe and if she was okay. In summer of 2024, well, are there text messages of him being that aggressive with you? Like, your friends hearing it is one thing. That is one point of reference, but did he do this via text? Are those texts going to come out? In the summer of 2024, plaintiff and Sharpe each moved to Las Vegas for their own reasons. I don't believe that at all. You're 19 years old, or 20, maybe 21 at this point. Why are you moving to Vegas if it isn't to be with the celebrity? Y'all see what I'm saying? We have like gone over so many lawsuits with a fine-tooth comb that now it's, some of these things are easily seeable. Like, you can, so you just randomly moved to Las Vegas for your own reasons at the same time as him. Sharpe liked to say that plaintiff followed him to Vegas, but that too is a lie. Once in Vegas, Sharpe again insisted that plaintiff sign an NDA. She refused, and again he persisted. But after enough resistance, he let it go and continued seeing her multiple times a week. His behavior did not change. He remained erratic, controlling, and verbally abusive, all while telling plaintiff that he was committed to a sexually exclusive relationship with her. See, this is what I would needed to hear. In summer of 2024, plaintiff and Sharpe each moved to Las Vegas for their own reasons. Sharpe to, lower his cost of living, and he can shoot his podcast from his home in Vegas, and it's much cheaper than LA. And I moved to Vegas because of my career in such and such. You see what I mean? The difference? I mean, y'all can tell me in the chat. Do you see the difference in that? Shannon just did a video. Sharice, I see you. I know you've been around since the beginning. I saw your comment. Let me see. Okay, here we go. So y'all bear with me. We're going to watch this. Thank you so much, Sharice. She was right. Let me change the title of this video. I mean, y'all look out for your boy. Let's see. Shannon addresses accuser. Okay, done. We'll go back to reading the lawsuit in a second.
Friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly, on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million.
Wait. So she is a OnlyFans model can still be sexually assaulted. Let's not jump on that bandwagon just yet. But based on the text messages that she sent him, along with the audio that we're gonna hear from him, I'm just gonna wait for everything to come out, because both of these people are playing now.
What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
Was that a Monique ending? I love us for real. We'll listen to it all the way again. Hold on.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly, on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys.
Okay, so let's see. So now we have her government name, and now we have her OnlyFans name. And who brought this up? Organized and Inspired. So he approached her in the gym, and she happened to be on OnlyFans. I don't even know. This just took a turn. This literally just took a turn. If she was already on OnlyFans, okay, that would low-key make sense, because this man, you know, he's a former athlete. He has a lot of money. He's not going to your everyday. He's not going to go to LA Fitness or 24-hour Fitness or, you know, any of the $10 gyms. He'll probably be at like Equinox or something like that. So now this is starting to track to me. A 19-year-old who can afford the same type of gym as him. That makes sense if she was already doing OnlyFans when she met him. DB, no, we talked to an attorney live on air yesterday. It's not. You can only go as a Jane Doe once the judge allows it. So there is a little space once it was filed and once they released it to the public. He has carte blanche to say her name because a judge has not indicated that she can move forward as a Jane Doe. This is this has taken a turn. So I'm sure now people will be able to find her since they know her full name and her OnlyFans handle. Public opinion, I'm not. Ali said, thanks for being a member for 24 months, Ali. Ali's also been with my channel since the beginning. I don't agree with Monique on much, but she warned him during their interview. He should leave these 26-year-olds alone and date someone his own age. Now, okay, let me show you. So one of you guys was mad at me. I know that it is actually a subscriber for what I said today. Let me see. Let me go to my page. So I posted this. Hopefully it doesn't play the music. I posted this today along with that Mooney Long song, Twin, Where Have You Been? And people got mad at me. They said they didn't like it. I wouldn't like it if somebody called me Miss Netta. But so I responded to the person. I'm like, well, he talked about it on his show. He was, talking about it with Funny Marco, and they were trolling each other, going back and forth. And the person is pretty unrelenting. They feel like he wasn't happy about it. So we're gonna look at this real quick, because he also talks about liking young girls in this little clip. So hold on.
What's wrong with this? Anybody ever told you look like Miss Netta?
They do sometimes.
Okay.
I don't get up. It used to bother me, but guess what? It don't stop them checks from coming in, and it don't stop them young ones from opening up.
It sure don't. So let me.
As a matter of fact, you look more like young ones from opening up, coming in, and it don't stop them young ones from opening up.
It sure don't. So let me.
As a matter of fact, and it don't stop them young ones from opening up.
It sure don't. So let me.
As a matter of fact, you look more like Miss Letter to me with that skin, that acne. Now that you brought it up, you should have left that alone. Put some glasses on. I tell you what, chat, let's put glasses on, put glasses on him, put glasses on me, and let's turn to the side and let's see who looks like Miss Letter.
It ain't about the acne.
Yes, it is.
No,
I'm glad you brought that up. But since you took it there, let's go there now.
See, there we go with
glasses on.
Now we getting aggressive. I'm really scared right now. But I'm saying I can sue you right now because I'm on your show and now I feel embarrassed. This is a lawsuit.
What you embarrassed for?
But I'm embarrassed.
You've been looking like this for 30 plus years.
You get a cease and desist.
It was you that went to the doctor and tried not to look like Miss Netta.
Show and it's 20.
Now that was actually pretty good. He said it was you who went to the doctor trying not to look like Miss Netta. Now, I don't know how Miss Netta then got every straight. A lot of people have adult acne. We're not going to do that. Oh, Tanita, I'm sorry. Tanita says this would not have happened if he would have dated Cheryl Underwood. Apparently, Cheryl Underwood ain't his type. Where are we? Jamie, I'm so excited to catch your lives. I absolutely love you, man. Well, thank you, Jamie. I appreciate that. And thank you for being a member for 15 months. Ali, and then Country Goddess said they had a kink dynamic and she's using it to cash out. She probably into degradation, which is what will be in the 30-second clip. Watch. Now, you're not lying there. I do think that she secretly recorded him in one of their more kinky, probably S&M type stuff that they were doing and is using that against him. I don't know. It's not that I don't believe her. I do believe that I believe anybody could have a mean streak or be abusive. I don't put anything past anybody, even though Shannon Sharpe is extremely likable. I'm just saying there's more to this story. And unfortunately for Shannon, he offered her a small settlement and she declined. The embarrassment that he's going to get out of this is going to be crazy because we're just at the beginning. We are just at the beginning. But yeah, so to the person who was mad at me for posting this, I'm sorry. It happened. And I'm not taking it back because they do look alike. And he joked about it. So if he joked about it, why can't I? Let's get back to the lawsuit. Let me see. Somebody said, Breon says, he said she got OnlyFans. It degraded her down to prostitute level. So dumb. She has 50K for sex. She in the gym to get more Simpsons like Shannon. Okay. Everybody's entitled to their opinion over here on this chat. We haven't heard about a money exchange yet, but I won't be surprised if when everything comes out, we find out from day one there was some money exchanged. And he knew who she was, what she did for a living. That's probably why she didn't say she moved to Vegas for work. Oh yeah, I hadn't even been looking. I don't know where we are on likes, but definitely hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Let me see. Summer 2024, Sharpe's control turns abusive. Blah, blah, blah. They moved for their own reasons. His behavior did not change. He remained erratic, controlling, and verbally abusive, all while telling plaintiff that he was committed to a sexually exclusive relationship with her. Then in September 2024, Sharpe humiliated plaintiff. He live streamed himself having sex with another woman on Instagram for over 1.1 million followers to see. He later made jest of the incident on his podcast, Club Shay Shay and show Nightcap. But for the plaintiff, it was anything but funny. He had repeatedly assured her that they were in an exclusive relationship, albeit unhealthy and abusive. Well, what about... Here we go. I mean, and again, I'm giving some credence to the fact that she's 19. But a relationship... We haven't heard anything about an actual relationship, just sex and abuse. So at what point did it convert to a relationship? At what point did he stop calling you and giving you a minute or 1 moment to be at his house, and then you guys have sex, and then he puts you out at a certain time? At what point was it actually a relationship? Because if it was just sex or money was being exchanged, then what were you expecting? That was a lie that not only hurt her emotionally, it made her fear it made her fear for her sexual health and the risk of sexually transmitted disease. That's true. At that point, plaintiff began to pull away from Sharpe. She stopped answering his phone calls and stopped telling him where she was and when he would demand to know. Plaintiff's feeble attempts at freedom and independence further upset Sharpe. He began flooding her phone with calls, demanding to know where she was. He called her relentlessly multiple times per hour. The harassment became so unbearable, plaintiff frequently began leaving Nevada, determined to cut off communication, resist his efforts to control her, and attempt to reclaim some control of her life. It took courage for plaintiff to make this effort. She remained terrified even though she was thousands of miles away. So if she was on OnlyFans, now I want to know if she was also engaging with other people or if it was like solo type performances, because I can't imagine he would be okay with her sleeping with other men on OnlyFans. But then how are you going to tell me what to do with my body when it's putting money in my pocket, unless Shannon was also putting money in her pocket? There's some missing pieces, guys, and trust me when I say it's going to come out. Trust me when I tell you it's going to come out. Sharpe simply would not accept independence or freedom from plaintiff. In October 2024, just after plaintiff returned from Europe, Sharpe's behavior became more angry, aggressive, and now violent. Sharpe sexually assaults and R-words plaintiff and threatens, "I'm going to make it so no man will want you again." On October 6, 2024, plaintiff was working out in a Nevada gym, following her usual routine. As she worked out, she saw Sharpe aggressively approaching her. She could tell by his look and the way he moved quickly towards her that he was furious for having been ignored. As soon as he got close, he told her, "Sit the F down or I'm going to kill you." Plaintiff refused. "I don't want to talk to you. You cheated on me." His response was dismissive and controlling as usual. "You don't have a choice." Sharpe demanded that they talk in private. Again, plaintiff told him no. She made it clear she did not want to talk to him. be alone with him, or want him coming to her home. But Sharpe didn't care. He never took no for an answer. Sharpe forced plaintiff under threat to get into his car and go to her house. Once Sharpe was inside her apartment, plaintiff tried to keep the conversation in the living room, but Sharpe refused. He demanded they go to the bedroom. She said no. He didn't listen, nor did he care. Once inside the bedroom, Sharpe grabbed her from behind and forcibly positioned her to perform oral. He held her in place and then forced her to begin performing. He became even angrier and said, "You've disrespected me so much. I'm going to punish this asshole." "I'm going to make it so that no man will want you again." I did not expect it. Oh, Ricky, we already played the audio on this channel, but thank you. Wait, the shade. Hold on. What audio? Oh, I have the audio. We're gonna listen to that as soon as we finish this. I know what audio you're talking about. No worries. We're gonna get to it. Plaintiff at this point was crying and sobbing. Tears streamed down her face as Sharpe repositioned her and took her from behind and inserted his penis into her back door. As he forcibly backdoor R-worded her, he said, "Turn around and look at me." Sharpe grabbed her head, forcing her to look at him as she sobbed. He said at this point, "Look at this. Look at my arm. I've got chills. That's how good this is." So he really likes backdoor action. Shannon Sharpe forced himself on the plaintiff and R-worded her, despite her sobbing in agony as it happened. He told her in the moment she was crying that the experience was so good it was giving him chills. Sharpe's behavior demonstrates that he believed plaintiff to be his personal property, possessed and owned by him. He also believed that the laws did not apply to him, that he could take what he wanted and that no one could or would stop him. He was and is wrong. I'm still on this OnlyFans thing. You guys can put it in the chat. Do you feel like he lacked a certain amount of respect for her because she was, quote unquote, just the OnlyFans girl? And he's Shannon Sharpe. So the power dynamics are always going to be off because of money and age. But now it sounds like he just actively degrades her because he doesn't really care at all. She's more like hate to say this, but he treats her like she's just a receptacle. Sharpe sexually assaults and R-words plaintiff, ignoring her screams and refusing to wear a condom. On January 2nd, 2025, Sharpe told plaintiff he wanted to see her. Sharpe persisted and reminded plaintiff that he had combined Christmas and birthday gift to give her. As he previously promised her a gift, she ultimately allowed him to come over to her apartment. She regrets that decision. Now, this is the first time we're hearing about money, but when we cross-reference what he put out about her yesterday, I know you, so this was hers. "I know you missed this big juicy ass, $25,000 for each cheek." And that was on 1/1/2025. So when you go back to the lawsuit, he violated her on the 2nd, but she was asking for her birthday and Christmas gift to be $50,000. There was money being exchanged, y'all. Trust and believe. I don't know what she looks like. Typically, OnlyFans content creators have a certain type of aesthetic. Money was being exchanged. So this whole, she was extorting him for $50,000. I bet you we're going to find records where he was paying that constantly. Like that was probably nothing to them. You're making a ton of money. You have certain sexual proclivities that this very young girl is willing to perform for you 4 times a week. Believe you me, money was being exchanged. She ultimately allowed him to come over to her apartment. She regrets that decision. Once inside her apartment, Sharpe began undressing. Plaintiff firmly stated multiple times that they would not have sex without protection, demanding that he wear a condom. She knew that in the past he refused to ever use condoms and believed that her demand would stop him from having sex with her. But although he refused to use a condom, he still insisted on sex. I can believe that specifically because people in the sex industry they understand that their body is their moneymaker. So if he's having sex with multiple people and now that's just out in the public, I can definitely see and understand why she is really begging him use a condom. But although he refused to use a condom, he still insisted on sex. She tried to resist him. She screamed. She had already expressed concerns for her safety, knowing that he had been involved with other women, increasing the risk of transmitting a disease. The more she begged, Sharpe became more aggressive and made it clear he would not wear a condom and he was going to have his way with her. Sharpe grabbed her, pulling her hair around and positioning her to perform oral, which lasted for roughly 2 minutes. Then Sharpe repositioned her and roughly forced himself inside her. Plaintiff never stopped demanding and begging that he stop or put a condom on. Sharpe ignored her. As soon as he penetrated her, plaintiff screamed and sobbed. Her cries for help did nothing to stop Sharpe. The assault lasted roughly 10 minutes, ending only when Sharpe finished inside her. Plaintiff cried and begged repeatedly for him to stop. Plaintiff left Nevada after the assault. Plaintiff brings these causes of actions in this honorable court to recover damages as outlined below. It is imperative that Shannon Sharpe and those like him are held accountable for their actions to prevent them from engaging in further sexual assault and sodomy and harming future victims. I cannot stress this enough. Just because somebody is in the sex industry does not mean that they don't have the right to say no. Now, I'm kind of reserving judgment on this because both of them are throwing out their own evidence. And so we, this court of public opinion, are going to look at both sides of the evidence that they are presenting with full knowledge that they are going to present the most incriminating evidence they can to sway public opinion. I'm not going to lie. I don't trust Tony Busby. I definitely do not trust Tony Busby, and I'll show you guys why. Hera, Shannon, the uncle who you called to gather someone up. I wouldn't be calling Shannon for shit. I wouldn't be calling Shannon for nothing. Okay, so the Busby law firm. This is what he had to say. Shannon Sharpe released a false and misleading statement through his attorney. The statement from Sharpe's newest lawyer falsely accuses Ms. Dane Joe of editing a video, a claim that is not only demonstrably false, but also desperate. The lawyer also suggests Ms. Doe refused to make the video available to Mr. Sharpe. Again, this assertion is easily proven untrue. In fact, Ms. Doe insists he watched it. Here's what is true. Although Jane Doe never referenced any video or multiple audio that she possesses in the lawsuit that she filed, now that Mr. Sharpe's lawyer has decided to broach the subject, we will address it. An incredibly damning video does indeed exist. The contents of that video speak volumes about Mr. Sharpe and his behavior. That video, which will be played to the jury, is extremely problematic for Mr. Sharpe. Sharpe's team, as I anticipated, disclosed the existence of this video in an effort to try and get ahead of it. That effort will fall flat. So what we learned through all of the Diddy stuff is people like Busby will take someone's statement, reach out to the attorneys for that person and say, we have some damaging stuff on you. You need to settle. So one of those damaging things would be this videotape in question. In his statement, Mr. Sharpe's attorney referenced in several texts. Every text that Mr. Sharpe's counsel released today purportedly from Jane Doe are dated prior to the alleged brutal assault set forth in Jane Doe's case. Those texts were obviously released in an effort to distract the public's attention from the allegation in Jane Doe's lawsuit. It won't work. Now, that is a lie. We saw a text message where she says she wanted $25,000 for each ass cheek. How do you, you saw the text messages. We saw the text messages as well. Let me see. Right here. I know you missed this big juicy ass, $25,000 for each cheek, 1/1/2025. See why I don't be trusting anybody? I don't trust Shannon, I don't trust the girl, and I don't trust Tony Busby. A little history. Back in early February, our office contacted Mr. Sharpe on behalf of Jane Doe and broached the subject of a meeting. Multiple conversations took place. Ultimately, a mediation occurred. Mr. Sharpe was represented by different lawyers in that mediation. That mediation process went on for more than 6 weeks, ultimately leading to Mr. Sharpe making an incredibly significant offer to settle. Ultimately, Jane Doe refused the hefty sum offered by Sharpe and instead filed this case. I want to know how much he offered. An incredibly significant offer to settle. Okay, so let's see. Where is it? Okay, here we go. Here is the audio. Let's wait for the commercial to play first. Why does TMZ have such long commercials? It was hefty, but not 50 million. Okay, here we go. Damn it. Hold on. We're gonna do it another way. Here we go.
You're just gonna like get mad at and you're just gonna hang up on me, so I feel like
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
what does that even mean?
She sounds like a kid. That's kind of creepy.
Nothing, Gabby. You want to be a dick to me now, so
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
I don't know that mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm gonna choke out of you when I see you. Thank you.
Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice in the matter.
Anything I say, you're just gonna like.
Okay. Chapel, let me tell you why I'm reserving judgment. Because all of these things could be true at the same time. You could have a situation where a very young girl saw a lifestyle, went for it, started to have some type of consensual, kind of like more S&M type sex with this much older man. And in that much older man might be abusive. You can have happy fun time in an S&M bondage type setting and not want that to spill over to your day-to-day. All these things could be true. She could be recording him because he does scare her. We technically don't know. That's why I'm really reserving a lot of the judgment, because we're going to get more context, because Busby and Shannon are real flippant with the information. So we are through the course of this, we are going to hear all of it. I do think multiple things could be true. I don't put anything past anybody. She might have been R-worded twice. If you are having sex 4 times a week and day 5, you say you don't want to have sex, you don't want to have sex. If somebody makes you, then that is technically the definition of an R word. She could be an escort, a sex worker, whatever y'all want to call her. But at the end of the day, the minute she says no, or she doesn't want to role play that day and you force her, then that is the definition of the R word. Could it be that she was also working the hell out of Shannon Sharpe, and Shannon Sharpe was just some big country dumbass with a lot of money who was ready and willing to do whatever with the little 19-year-old who he thought he could manipulate and all that? Absolutely. All of those things could be true. All of it. That's why it's so important now that we get everything. I'm not going to condemn her. I'm not going to condemn him, because right now, both of them are playing with the media. Both of them are playing with the media. You actively record somebody that gives you the ability to bait them into whatever kind of conversation you want. And then you release just a small little snippet of that, whatever 5, 10, 2-minute conversation that makes you look like the victim. Then the media is going to sway towards you. Shannon could do the same thing when he released those text messages when she was asking for $50,000 per ass cheek. Like, they're going to do this. We now know between Busby and Diddy and Jay-Z and all these people, they're going to play with us. Yeah, you just never know. You just never really know. And I don't put anything past anybody. And maybe I'm wrong for that, but that's just where we're at. So we reviewed the audio, we reviewed his response, we reviewed the court case, and I don't think anybody has actually reviewed the full court case yet. So that was, I guess, kind of exclusive. Country Goddess says, facts memes, it seems like a kink dynamic that turned toxic and now she wants money. Could be. But kink don't mean every day, all day. Maybe she didn't want to get, she didn't want it up her butt. Clearly, that's not what she's into. So if you take it, then that's more than just kink. And correct me if I'm wrong, if there's anybody who's in the lifestyle in the chat, if you're into kink, don't you have like words, like safe words and stuff like that, that would indicate this ain't what I want to do right now? But anyway, like I said, I'll keep you guys posted on this. I'm telling you, it was not easy to find this lawsuit. So that might be why a lot of people have not reviewed it yet. You guys, I know the replay gang is going to have a lot to say, and I'm not taking it back. I still feel like Shannon looked like Miss Nip. I can't unsee it. And we'll just end on that. If anything else pops off, not Kunta was her safe word. Dead. Between Trent and Dina, I need to start reading before I Wicked says, listen to what he said. She said, no, I don't want to be choked. And he said, you don't have a choice. If I'm just being honest, I think that blurs the line. I feel like it blurs the line for two people who are clearly into S&M type stuff, and you're having a phone call, not knowing you're being recorded. I don't know. I'm reserving. I'm reserving judgment. I don't know. I mean, we saw a whole bunch of stuff. She said she wanted his big black D in those text messages and his baby gravy. To me, based on those text messages, it sounded like maybe she wanted to get pregnant. Only if you put that baby gravy in me, then I can do whatever I want to me. I want to put my tongue in your asshole and then marry you. So maybe she liked to play with his butt. She didn't want hers touched or violated. You know, everybody has their stuff. Everybody has their stuff. So we're going to reserve judgment. I mean, y'all can judge all you want. She 26, not 19. No, I think she's 21. I think she was 19 in 2023 when they met. So I think she's 2021. We're going to find out. Y'all have a good day. Y'all got a lot to discuss in the comments. Like the video on your way out. I don't even think we had 1,000 likes. And that was, I think, exclusive. I don't think anybody has the lawsuit. But I could be wrong. I don't know. Y'all have a good one, and I will see you tomorrow unless something else crazy pops off. 780? Read the whole damn lawsuit. Found this lawsuit. And I can't even get to 1,000 likes while we're live. I don't know what's going on. Bye, y'all.